Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Vintage Story. So we're picking back up literally right after the last episode. Nothing has changed whatsoever. Alright, now today what we're going to do, we're going to start off, well actually we'll come back up here in just a moment. But let's actually pop down to the village real quick. And something I've noticed is that the chickens actually aren't eating their food. I came down here earlier, and the chickens don't eat their food because the area, I guess, isn't chunk loaded. Not a big deal, but it means we're probably not going to breed chickens right now. Alright, so the very first thing we're going to do, and I'm actually probably going to end up getting some more. No, 3 stacks is actually good. Let's go ahead and take 3 stacks of chalk over to the windmill, because I'm going to want to get this stuff processing. So let's go ahead and just toss that in there. And luckily for us, the wind's going right now at a pretty good speed, it looks like. So we're going to get that processing. We're going to get ourselves a bunch of lime. And of course, we want to stay kind of close to the windmill while it's running, just so that we don't have, we don't come back and we have less lime than what we should. So we're going to get that going. And let's see, we've already taken a bunch of basalt rock up there. So we'll be good on that. I am going to have to go mine shale at some point. I might just take a few picks over and just fill up bags with shale. You know, it's a little bit of a jaunt. But I'm going to want primarily smooth shale, but I'll get some cobblestone in the process. That's fine. Let's also go ahead and get ourselves some chert. Oh, we got lead down here. I'll just mark it. I'm not gonna worry about mining it right now because I don't need lead at present. Okay, and then what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go through basically alternating. Break a block above and a block below. Well, actually, no, what I'll do is I'll just alternate and actually probably start off here. It's gonna make it a little bit easier as far as alternating because all the blocks blend in. I think I've still got some smooth chert back at the base, but it's not going to be as much as what we need. So, and then I'll come up above every other block and just clip that off. And whenever I go do shale, I'll do the exact same thing. So, and then I'm going to come through and break off every other block down here. And then I'm going to go ahead and just dig this trench one deeper. And then I'm going to go down and clip off the bottom. And then after that, I've got to do the exact same steps on the other side. But whenever I do that, it's a little bit more exciting. So now what I'll do is we'll just come over to, go in right in here. And of course, the first batch takes the longest. So go down the line here on this side and do the top, and then we're going to do the bottom. And then we're going to enjoy a lot of smooth stone. This side I haven't taken back far enough, but that's fine. We'll take it back a bit further as we need to. Go ahead and break that off. Okay, and then all we got to do is just go down the line, doing this, and of course smooth stone on the other side's breaking off. And we can scale this out vertically or horizontally, because we already have trenches dug, so I could do the same thing on this side, and we have to dig out one trench, basically, at this point. Yeah, I still got to go back pretty far. That's already 33 smooth stone. How far back? Actually, pretty far, it looks like. And then, of course, all we got to do is dig down, and we can do another row really, really quick and easy. And then just run down through here. There's going to be a lot of, loose pieces. There we go. So we got a stack and 5. That's not too bad. And we got the groundwork laid to easily get a bunch more. And I'll be using chert cobblestone, too. So the chert rock's not going to hurt. Okay, I'm going to hold on to 1 stack. It won't stack again, I guess. Huh. But I'm going to hold on to the last little bit of that chalk. Okay, so we're going to head back up. Like I said, I will have to go farm up some shale later. Now, the main stones that we're going to be using, we're going to be using slate cobblestone, shale smooth stone, basalt, a variety of basalt type stones, and then also chert stone, polished chert stone. So, okay, so what we're going to do first and foremost, let's go ahead and open up 2 of these fire pits. We're going to throw in our quicklime, or our lime. We're going to be making quicklime. Now this actually will not, this won't do all of it. I think it's going to leave a couple. But usually what I like to do is 14 brown coal to a stack of lime. It's going to leave, I think, 1 operation. I think it's 1, but that's okay. That's fine. It's not a big deal for us. Because then we'll process that lime later, you know. Because I don't want to waste another piece of coal for 1 smelt operation. So we're going to get that going. It's going to smelt into 32 quicklime. It's going to actually be like 31 quicklime. Okay, so now let's go ahead and we are going to make ourselves some barrels. Don't need a bunch of them because this isn't something that has to sit. But we're going to go ahead and get 1, 2. Honestly, 2 barrels should be good. Let's go ahead and grab our water. We're going to toss 1 bucket of water in this barrel. And then we're going to be kind of waiting on this a little bit. But actually, while we're waiting, let me go ahead and get another barrel. Or not barrel, but crate. And we're going to set this crate up on the far side over here. And this is going to be for our chert stone. Because I imagine we'll be coming up here with chert cobble quite a bit. And then we're going to go ahead and polish. Let's go ahead and polish all this chert rock. So hammer chisel. Like that. And we'll go ahead and polish that. The basalt. I think it'll be alright if I just go ahead and polish all of this. So we'll do that. And that. I'm actually not going to be using straight polished for much. And it would only be special case stuff. So yeah, let's go ahead and turn all of this into basalt rock slabs. Like that. And then we're going to take these basalt rock slabs and break these down into basalt stone bricks. And for right now, let me switch over to my backpack. Because we really won't need all these mining bags at this point. Since we're not going to be doing as much excavating. Okay, so let me get this. And that's all basalt stone too as well. Okay, great. Let's go ahead. We're going to make... Let's get a full stack. And we're going to take stone brick. We're going to convert and make an entire stack of basalt dry stone. Honestly, probably 2 stacks. 2 stacks for now should be good. And then we're going to go ahead and make ourselves basalt cobblestone. I think you guys are going to like this once we get it put up. I actually think it looked pretty good. I put it together in my test world and I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is perfect. I liked it anyways. Let's see. We got chert. Still got to get the shale. That's fine. Shale's going to be more detail and for the ceiling. But let's go ahead. Let's come up a little ways. And we'll start right in here. So that way we can set up a little bit of this. And this is actually going to have to get brought out a little bit. It won't really change anything, but it'll have to get expanded just slightly. That's why we haven't done stairs and stuff, and that's why I wanted to start with the some of the hallways so we can get these figured out. And then we can just kind of build our way back to the forge. Or back towards the forge. So I will have a little more excavation, but not too bad. Won't be nearly as much as what we've already done, so... okay, so now... let's start right in here, because I'll probably end up opening this up a little bit, so I just want to give it a little bit of room to breathe if I need to open that up slightly. And I've already planned out some of the chisel work, and then we'll make it a bit nicer as time goes on, but I do have a bit planned out for it. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to be going with basalt rock slabs. They're cheaper, than going with an entire block. We're going to run these. No, I'm sorry. We're going to run these right down the side like that. Right down the side like this. We're going to go with slabs because the other half of this is going to be covered. And this way we're going to get basically two blocks for each smooth basalt. So it just comes out to be a little bit cheaper for us and a little bit quicker to run in mass. And at this point we'll still actually be excavating a lot, but it'll be off-site. We'll be excavating basalt and things like that. And then we're going to come through the middle and do the basalt dry stone. Right down through here. Like so. And then we're going to have, in that space between the basalt dry stone and the basalt polished stone, we're actually going to have some chiseled, oh, this is perfect timing. We're actually going to have some chiseled slate cobble. So I may pop down and get some slate so we can do at least some example stuff. But all right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take 40 quicklime to 10 liters of water. We're going to dump this in, and it's going to turn it into 40 liters of slaked lime. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take ourselves 40 andesite sand, and you want to see one of my favorite conversion rates ever? 40 sand to 40 liters of water. Watch how much that we get. Boom, 320 mortar. So it's going to go super, super far as the mortar goes. So that's why we don't need a ton of lime to get started. Each piece of mortar makes 2 bricks. So we're going to go ahead and turn all those into bricks. And this is where we're going to start needing a literal ton of polished basalt. Like an absolute ton of it. But we got a decent little start here. And I'm only needing 1 block per wall of this. So it's actually going to go pretty far, I think. Now this, like I said, this is just going to be our general like hallway and stuff design. And a lot of the same general palette color that we're going to be using in the rooms. Like I said, I want dark colors, grays, blacks, that sort of thing for our base. Because it's like I said, it's based off of Iron Keep, kind of blended as far as style with Iron Forge. And then I've got some chisel ideas for the walls and stuff like that. And then above that, we're actually going to do basalt cobble and basalt cobble. This way we can use a lot of the basalt stone that we're getting while we're mining for the smooth stone. The dry stone helps us out too, but I tried to set up a design that looked good and that utilized a lot of what we're going to be getting while we're mining. I don't want just polished basalt because then I end up with a lot of basalt stone, like an excess of it. And what we're going to do here is we're going to take our polished chert rock, and this is actually going to get chiseled. But we're going to have polished chert, and polished chert is going to be probably the thing that we need the most of overall, because a lot of the ceiling is going to have these chiseled bits, and we're going to be using it kind of like I use the wrought iron. We're going to use it so that it looks like that rusted metal. I think it just looks absolutely gorgeous. Anything that's supposed to look metallic, I think it looks perfect for that. So we're going to have that polished chert stone that runs down there, and then we're going to have the shale, the smooth shale up here. And then we'll leave space for lanterns hanging down. We're going to be using iron lanterns as our lantern choice for the base. Now, to make this really kind of show up, let me pop down. Let me get a little bit of slate cobble. See what we've got anyways. And that way we can run some of that slate cobble. Actually, while I'm down there, I'm just going to get another stack of clay. I got a lot of clay. And that way I can keep what I've got up here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, chisel a little bit of this. This stuff's actually pretty quick to chisel for this part. Some of the stuff on the upper half and the pillars are going to take us a little bit longer, but they're not too bad. I tried to design everything so that even though it might take us a little bit to chisel, it's not going to take an abnormal amount of time to chisel it. And of course, certain areas will have slightly different stone and stuff, but this is just for like general base color. And we're going to trim all this down. I'm actually just going to set down here. It'll be a little bit easier for us. And then on the edges, we're going to cut this down with a single block all the way down. So like that for the bottom half. Now we're going to have pillars that run up the side. I've still got to shape up this. We got to do the ceiling. But this is going to give you kind of a general color palette idea. Now right now it looks really awkward next to the andesite for sure, but I think once it's all done and once it's all ran, I think it's going to look pretty good. So it's going to be kind of a dark and iron type color palette. And then, like I said, we may end up adding a mod or something that it will enable us to move lava. Because I would really like to move lava, because it would just go really, really well with our base design, I think. And like maybe in the smith have it like pouring out, you know, and out of some of our molten metal cauldrons and stuff. And then I'm thinking once we get to doing stairs and stuff like that, this slate cobblestone will turn from just like a floor border. We'll have it turn into the railings. So the railings will be slate cobblestone and kind of match the placement of this, but they'll kind of rise up and go down as railings for some of the stairs and stuff like that. I think it'll look pretty cool once we get it done. And what's nice is we're going to be able to use, we'll probably use the polished chert, because like I said, it looks like old rusty iron to me. And we'll probably use that for some like floor grates and stuff. Maybe even like floor and ceiling grates in places. And I think that's going to look pretty cool too. Like have floor grates and then underneath them there's lava, and it's going to look like one big giant death trap. Down the road we're going to have probably some I feel like we have to have like some ram pens, like just all male rams in pens. I don't think rams fight like roosters do. I can't say I've ever had more than like one ram at a time, but I don't think that they fight. And then we could have like ram stables, you know, because there's not horses within Vintage Story or anything like that at the moment. But decoratively, we could have rams just like Ironforge did, because they make perfect mountain mounts, I think. Which makes sense. So there we go. It's looking better already. We haven't even started adding decoration down the side here, but yeah, I think it's going to look... Like I said, I built it out in my test run, and I was like, oh, it's perfect. I love it. I love it. So, anyways, I'm going to basically continue on. We've got a lot of resources. I can get a bit of it ran at the moment. And then we'll just expand as we can. Yeah, see, we left 2 in each of these. 2 lime, so I can process that with the next batch, but 22 quick lime. Okay, it has been a bit. You can see I actually ran a ladder down here just so I could go mine shale a little bit easier, because our shale deposit is just right over in that direction. But I went ahead and I have done a bit of work through here. You can see I've chiseled, or I've started chiseling kind of the ceiling. I think we'll probably end up adding, you know, a little bit more of that polished chert kind of across this kind of ornate ceiling bits. I'm thinking this area right here is going to have a higher ceiling, kind of leading in kind of this big main road, and then these little side areas are going to have a little bit lower ceilings. Still fairly good size, but a little bit lower than what we're going to have in here. Kind of have those big grand ceilings through here, like big high ceilings. But I started running this through and started chiseling this. I actually had run out of polished basalt, but I've got some more now. And this right here is actually a copper deposit. It was actually 2 different copper deposits on top of each other. So like if we come in right in here, you can see where I dug around. This place is actually massive. It goes down because it was two copper deposits basically connected, and one was a poor deposit, one was a rich deposit that kind of spanned through this area. So, and yeah, it goes up back in here too. It goes all over the place. So I just left the stuff in the chest, that way you guys could see it. what we got from it. But you can see we did come out pretty decent. A bunch more copper here. And then, actually right over... Actually, it's back in here. I didn't mean to cover this up, but I did. Back in here is actually quartz that I've been mining. A quartz deposit, because I don't want to cover it up and leave it. And then over here... originally I was planning on doing the Helvhammer system, where you do 4 Helvhammers, 1 anvil, and they're all bing, bang, banging on the anvil. But then I was like, I don't know, so I'm still kind of on the fence if I want to do 4 Helvhammers to 1 anvil so we have really, really fast production, or if we want quantity over quality, which will still be sufficiently fast to make plates, to make iron ingots, that sort of thing. But instead have it so that we can process a bunch at once. And I'm really leaning towards being able to process large quantities instead of taking up a lot of space, because this is going to take up basically a 7x7 space, because the Helvhammers, the bases would be back here on all of this. And this would be where the toggles are, and then the anvil sitting in the middle. So it would end up taking up a 7x7 space, which I feel like is massive. It's fine, but I feel like it would be... We might have 1 or 2, maybe. But even then, I feel like having... what I have in mind, I think having that would be honestly better. And it would be more useful to us than having just fast Helvhammers. So I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence about that. And I did end up expanding this room out. That was fun, because I had to push everything back just so that we had it be an odd number, because I was setting up the Helvhammers. Now it's not as important because I'm thinking about not doing that, but it's alright. I don't mind it being an uneven number. It doesn't really matter, because I was planning on chiseling the center anyways. And then started running this up. This area down here is very, very rough. And I was actually working on setting up a banner, but then I decided I didn't like this. So I ended up turning this into kind of the Blacksmith banner, the Blacksmith sign. Because I decided instead of just it being a hammer, I think I'm going to change it to where it is either a sword, or a sword and a hammer crossed, or maybe 2 swords crossed with a hammer and anvil beneath it. It would have to be bigger. You know, it couldn't fit onto like a 2-block banner. But I started chiseling this out. The materials are, for the top, it's chert rock polish, chalk sand, some oak logs, some polished shale rock, and some basalt cobble. And the bottom is chalk, oak, and basalt cobble. So I was just kind of playing. It's one of those things where I just chisel things. I'm like, oh, let me try this out. I chisel it, and then I'm like, okay, I'll figure out a place to put that. Kind of like the wrought iron fence pieces that we got down in the village. So, but at this point, I've got to basically start expanding this out, and I've got some ideas of how we're going to run it, and I think it's going to look pretty nice once we get it done. It's going to have a lot of like small attached rooms from it, so that we have kind of like denser sort of like ingot storage and things like that, fuel storage and whatnot attached onto it. And right now it's like the middle of January. What we'll probably do, we'll continue building stuff out, and I've got to do, you know, just a bunch of chiseling, but I also want to go ahead and at least kind of start setting up the smith a little bit, getting that sort of organized so that it's actually useful to us. But let's pop over to the basalt mine, because I unearthed a little something I wanted to show you guys. Because I was mining out for smooth basalt and basalt cobble down in here, in the bowels of darkness. And right over here, I actually came across an olivine deposit down here. I probably won't mine it all right now. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. I probably won't mine it all right this second, but I did want to show it to you guys, and we'll just kind of mine on it. It's not something that I need right this second. Whoops, wrong block. So I need to kind of block this off a little bit. Let's go ahead and break this, and I want to keep the olivine clusters. I'd like to keep these. We could break them and get olivine, but I'd rather keep them maybe for decoration, you know, down the road. I didn't know these were in here, to be honest. I knew there was olivine. And I love getting these clusters. They just look so good. And it's actually our very first crystal clusters that we've come across. But definitely want to collect these. And the green ones I will definitely take. I can see us using some of these for decoration down the road. The various different clusters, so. And I'll be honest, coming across olivine like this easily is going to help us out a lot later on. I'm going to go ahead and actually get a sample piece too, because I do need one. I wasn't planning on mining all of this, but now I'm like, I've come too far. I have to. I think that's all of our olivine deposits. So we ended up getting close to 2 stacks, and we got a bunch of crystals from it too. Not bad. Now, it would be nice if we came across more olivine inside of this basalt mountain as we were digging it out, but that was like overflow basalt. But I'll definitely take it because I've got to actually get more basalt stone because I've already used through pretty much all of it making dry stone and cobblestone. So, but that olivine, we'll be able to use that for refractory bricks. And like I said, normally it's something that I have to like kind of work for. And I have no plans to make green glass anytime soon, so that's probably going to go to refractory bricks. It's not going to be enough for everything that I want, but it is going to help me put a dent into our refractory bricks. So, okay, I've been working on this room for a little bit. I mean, not a lot of time has passed. It's the 6th of January right now. But I wanted to show you, this is kind of what I'm thinking for the grate, and then we'll do like basalt on the edges. Doing this rusty metal type grate. I was debating between doing basalt for the grating or doing this rusty metal, and I think I like this rusty metal. I'm gonna have to go farm more chert again. Honestly, I may push these walls over, and that way I can have it center with this pathway, because right now it's a little bit awkward. So I'm probably gonna do that, push this out, maybe bring this out a little bit more. Still kind of deciding, and then we'll have these lower pathways which are going to lead to some storage areas and things. I've got all of this going. This is all raw ingot molds, so we'll have what, 24 once this is done. And then up here we have lots and lots of forges. I made a little bit too many. I'll figure out somewhere to put them, but and a site cobble. And a site cobble for the win here. And then over here I've dug out this side. I just haven't started doing anything with it. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with the... I think I'll go with the rusty metal grates. I just like them. And then if we frame those in basalt, they should look pretty good, I think. But anyways, I'm going to continue working on this. I just wanted to show you these grates as they're coming together, because I want to be able to see the lower floors from this upper walkway. And we might even have some places where this crosses over, because if I don't do the large hammer areas, I can do kind of pillars that come up and then have this crossover to things up on these upper sections, basically like access areas, or what would be access areas, and have those grates cross over, and that way we can make use of kind of the height of this room, so that we can walk across that. We can look down. Hey there. They love it when I chisel, because they're like, oh, he's not paying attention. We're going to break his floor. Oh, and something I wanted to show you. Setting up some fire pits in here, because I'm thinking a column. Did I miss? Yeah. But something I wanted to show you, because I'm thinking like a column here, there maybe, which would be 6 blocks between each of these, which I think should be good. But right over here we actually have copper. Now I don't know if this is a continuation maybe of a deposit that we mined, though I don't really recall one being here. So I'm gonna say probably not. I think there's more copper down here. There's been so many copper deposits in this room. It's just ridiculous. Fairly certain this is a different node. How much durability do I have? 78. I need to start packing another sword with me just in case. Ooh, hoo-hoo. What have we here? It's a fairly big deposit of copper here. But I am going to have to pop up here in a moment and get some food. Oh wow, this goes deep. Yeah, it looks like it leads maybe into another little cave there. Okay, I gotta go get food. Man, this is a lot of copper down here. At least a few stacks out of here. I had seen that copper and I was like, well, we'll check it out after this stuff runs. I'm just gonna let it run. Oh, wow. Okay, this is just a dead end, but I hear water. Yep. Oh, more copper. Good. And it goes down there, which looks to be a dead end. Okay, let me pop up and get some food. Because I'm going to end up starving myself. This food's terrible. Because I had some onions I didn't realize were about to go bad on me. And so this stuff, it doesn't have a whole lot of time. So I'm trying to make sure and keep it in the pot. Just to prolong its time a little bit. We've almost gotten 2 stacks of copper out of there. It's going to take me a little while probably to mine all of that, but that's fine. Let's head back down. Just basically scouting. What a fitting place for all this too, because it's right underneath the floor of our smith. This was the one that was the dead end. Let me block off this water because I don't want to deal with it. Okay. Not really looking for like super caving right now, but this might give us a place to explore later. Or at least mine out later. You know, there's a lot of copper. At the very least. Okay, so that one's just a dead end. What about this other direction? It seems to go deeper. Copper. And we're down to deep drifters. I didn't even get a new sword. I'm terrible. Oh, wow. Oh, I see iron. Good. Oh, it's rich iron and andesite. Oh, man. I was actually thinking I'm going to have to go mining for iron here soon. Because we don't have a whole lot left. I mean, I was thinking earlier, it's like, well, we could probably fairly easily start pushing towards steel. Not push in fully into steel, but start pushing towards steel. But at the same time, I really don't want to. I mean, steel is like a big investment. And really I like to have pretty good amount of resources before I even start moving towards steel. But I was thinking I'm going to have to get more iron one way or the other. I'm going to have to get more iron. Oh, there's copper up here. There's copper everywhere. This should be a new area. You guys leave me alone now. I'm just scouting. Man, these tunnels go on forever. Copper here. Copper. We will never go hungry for copper. Ever. Alright, dead end back here. I mean, and a lot of these tunnels go deeper. I'm just not really geared and ready to go deeper. Or, you know, with what I'm carrying, I could go get my plate. But I'm really not out to mine things right this second. I'm not going to go down there. Too many drifters right there on the surface. I just want to peek my head over. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, let me, I don't want to mine that right this second. Because I want to kind of keep it intact until I'm actually ready to mine it. But I do want to poke my head down here. Iron all by happenstance. I love it. Oh man, it goes deep. See, Copper Mountain provides. You spend enough time in Copper Mountain, it will provide. If you're like thinking to yourself, oh, I'm going to need some more iron soon. Copper Mountain says, okay, I'm going to make sure you got some iron here soon. Oh man, I'm going to end up getting lost in these caves. They just go on and on and on. Oh, there's more copper. Man, it's going to be months just pulling all the copper out of this place. Man. Saltpeter, let me block this off. And we found Olivine today. Like, it's been... I've just been trying to build. That's all. Just trying to build. What's up here? More copper. Rich deposit of copper. And copper, I don't know if that's the same deposit or if that's different ones. Oh man, and these pits to doom. There's no telling what is down there. But we know that we're starting to hit iron. Inside of Copper Mountain. Oh, this is very, very flooded. What's that? Quartz. Looks like there's some kind of an area up there too. Oh man. Oh, there's a locust back in there. Okay, let me make my way back out of here because I am like super deep in this cave right now, and like I said, I'm not really prepared to go like deep caving or mining for that matter. But I'm so excited about this. I don't know if it's going to end up being a huge deposit, but it is rich iron. And who knows? Who knows? Oh! Oh! We have a locust nest placed down here. Oh man, I don't want that right now, but oh my gosh, I'm going to want that later. Okay, I made a wrong turn. Back here at the iron vein. I was supposed to go up this way. Oh man. Alright, just because you guys are here. Which that probably means we're probably, if we tackle that place, we will probably be able to get the other translocator up and running. It's almost assured, because you get metal parts so easy from those, usually. But we will want to make sure that we're wearing proper gear when we tackle that. So, but I was just saying the other episode, I was like, man, I hope we come across one of those. Never fear. Just go to Copper Mountain. It took me a minute to find my way out because I forgot I had dug a tunnel where I heard the water. and ended up just running past it. Okay, I'm going to mine up a little bit more of this copper while I'm down here, but yeah, I'm going to have to make sure and keep it so that we can access these caves later, because these caves are going to be extremely valuable to us. And we haven't even went down to the deep cave, but we know that there's like a dungeon down there. We know that there's iron. We know that there's like more copper than I have any idea what to do with. And yeah, there's just all sorts of stuff down there. Quartz, which, man, that's not as big of a deal, but probably still try to mine it, but it seems like as we go deeper in Copper Mountain, we're finding more and more copper, though. Like, this vein is big. Because it all seems to be just one vein. Okay, but I think I got all of it. So it was 2.5 stacks of copper from that vein. Well, back up to where I was. January 7th. I'm going to try to continue shaping this up a little bit. Honestly, I would really like to spend February. I mean, we could keep building, but part of me wants to spend February actually working on some Hellhammer setups just so that we can make lots of plates, make lots of lights. Because if we can make lots of plates really, really easy, we could just churn out copper plates, which means we could light up those caves. Actually, I'm just going to dump it in here because my goodie chest is filled at the moment. But we could churn out lights, light up the cavern down there, and explore that a whole lot easier. So, you know, that's an option. Not to mention we could light up our village. Okay, it has been a bit. You can see I've got quite a bit done on this. I also played around with some chisel ideas. This right here, I haven't really decided exactly what I want to do for the stairs. So this is just kind of a mix match of ideas that I've been throwing together. Hey, guys. I kind of wondered if they were going to follow me from the main area, because I was up there, I was getting some more food and grabbing my torch. I also did pop down to the blacksmith. Look, these are great floors right now. I popped down to the blacksmith and got all of our peat. And you could see I've made these little platforms. There's one there. There's one over on this side, which has all of our fire clay bricks, which we don't have nearly as many as we did because I've been using them. But I made these little platforms. They're going to get kind of a little, like a little crane system that we're going to chisel up and have kind of cables that run up and attach. And so then they could be moved back and forth and up and down to basically where our storage areas are going to be, which will be kind of up in here. Now this hole right here, this is what's going to be long term. I think the placement of one of our chimneys for one of our cementation furnaces. I'm planning on having quite a few of them, just so we can make a lot of steel. I'm trying to set this up so that we can basically mass produce things. And that's why I think instead of going with just like a couple like full speed Hellhammer setups. Oh, there you are. There's a lot of high rift activity right now, but that's why I think instead of going with like just a couple like full speed Hellhammers, I'm honestly thinking of doing 8 pretty good speed ones, but doing 8 on this back end, just single hammers. But honestly, it tends to be, in my experience, it tends to be plenty fast, because if you have like say 4 hammers, then you're standing around just waiting for metal to heat up and then having to move it. Whereas if we do 8 and we're heating up just loads of metal, then we can pump out ingots a lot faster. I think it's going to be better for us. Now, that's not to say we won't have any full speed hammer setups later on, but I think for right here, I think I want 8, and then we'll set them up to be pretty good speed. So, so that we can, I mean, it's all going to kind of come down to our wind outside, how easy that's going to be, but we'll make it happen. And beyond that, these tables aren't done. I haven't even done this, and I think I'm going to have it kind of connect and curve. So this was just kind of like rough idea chiseling, kind of like that. And I haven't chiseled all of this yet. You can see I kind of chiseled this. I kind of stopped chiseling because my chisels, I'm running out of them. I have that. It's pretty much it at this point. So I've got to make more chisels, which means I got to make more iron, and you know, it's a whole process. But right here we've got, let me double check, I think it's 40. Yeah, we got 40 ingot molds, which is the 8 that I brought up, and then ended up doing a few more after that last run. And what I've done is I've set up fire pits. Now, I haven't tested it. We might be able to cook up 20 ingots of copper with only 8 brown coal, but I'm going to go with 9 just to be on the safe side. Each of these batches, literally all the way around this, will produce 20 ingots of copper. So it's still not even all the copper that we pulled out of here. So we're going to go ahead and kind of christen this this forge in style. We're going to get 40 ingots of copper being made. So we can full pour. And honestly, I think 40 ingot molds should be good, but I may add some additional ones. It would be nice if we could do all 160 ingots of copper. Just I could do more even after the 160, but I think 160 ingots of copper should be a good starting point. That way I've got plenty to save for making like bronze and brass later on as well. Now right down here we've got this setup. This is a 3x3x3 of firewood. So we're going to do a 3x3x3 of charcoal. Now this isn't going to be a permanent place, but I'm low on charcoal. What do you know? Because I haven't really done a whole lot of charcoal lately, so we'll get that going. And then in addition, I don't think I filled any of these, but I did fill these over on this side. We're going to get 24 iron blooms going. So 24 iron blooms, 40 ingots. Technically, we've got 160 laid out here, and a 3x3x3 of charcoal. I think that's a good way to kind of kick off the forge. Now, I know it's wrapping up point for this episode, so we're gonna have to end this one here. I got a bit of building done, but we still got a long ways to go. So it's just what I could get done, because right now it's February 2nd, and I'd like to get on to our our final project before we head out of the keep. What's going to be the keep. So, but we got a big chunk of it excavated. I'm really happy about that. I mean, we still have a lot of excavating to do, and I've kind of got to go get materials at this point. I'm running low on just about everything. I need to go mine iron. I need to farm up tons of stone. I need to cut more wood. You know, basically this next year is going to be a big resource push because we're getting low on everything. We've kind of got to coast for like a good year, you know, with all that iron and wood and stuff, but it's going to be time. It's going to be time again to gather a lot of resources in this next year. Next episode, we are going to, I think, push to get a health hammer or 2 set up so that we can start making plates, because now that we can make copper ingots in mass, like I said, this isn't even all my copper. I could probably fill all these up one more time or close to it. Not to mention this cave down here is completely filled up with copper. So we're going to be making a lot of lanterns in the coming year, I imagine. But I want health hammers to help us out with that, of course. So anyways, that's what we're going to be doing next episode, I think, for our final, our final winter episode. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.